Hello, knowledge seekers. Welcome back to Helicon Explanations. If you are new, make sure to subscribe for insightful lessons, tips, and tutorials. Let's dive into today's topic. Let's start with the question what and why. So, what is Raspberry Pi 5 and how is it different from the previous generation modules? So, let's start with the basic question. What is ARM? What are ARM processors and what are microcontrollers, microprocessors? Why do we call them like that? So, is it really processed at the micro level, or what is that a controller? Does that word really have a meaning? So let's get started to know all about them. So what is ARM? ARM abbreviates as Advanced Risk Machine. So it was originally called Apron Risk Machine. So what is RISC? RISC is Reduced Instruction Set Computer, and this Raspberry Pi 5 is a kind of a microcontroller, so which is equipped with the ARM Cortex A76 series chip. So this is designed the microcontrollers are designed to achieve some specific tasks. So it's not a general purpose computer, and it doesn't match up to a general PC because it doesn't have all those functionalities where a PC can provide you. But of course, yeah, it has a browser, it has a OS, it has terminal, all the programming compilers, but it is not developed to that a general PC level. Of course, it is a handy CPU without an external display. So this video will give you a detailed instruction on how to download Raspberry Pi OS on your Raspberry Pi new chip, uh, and we'll be dealing with all the programs and the OS with a VNC viewer, which requires no external display. You heard it right. We don't buy external display. So all the programs will be running in the same PC. Make sure you have enough memory on your computer. And this instructions which I'm going to give you will run both on macOS and Windows. So need not worry. And let's get started with what is unique with this Raspberry Pi 5 module. So it consists of RP1 module, so which is different from Pi 4, 3, 2 and earlier versions, because this wasn't there in the previous generations. So this gives you different memory mapping structures for the GPIOs, and it provides most of the input output peripherals for the Pi. So where the mappings of the GPIOs will be different compared to the previous generations. Different means uh, previously we used to use rp i.gpio module for mapping GPIOs through Python, but that doesn't work right now. That literally doesn't work. So we need to use other modules like pi0 or GPIOD. I'll discuss it later. So this runs on a 12 mm chip, 12 into 12 mm chip, and let's get started with this new GPIOs. So the port numbers and the functionalities doesn't change. So this the picture is of a Raspberry Pi 4 module. I couldn't find a 5 one with the memory mappings. So but yeah, this is fine. So the important terminals to remember are 3.3 volts, ground, and 5 volts terminals. So these are very important to learn first, and all the rest GPIOs are will configure it. They are able to configure. We can configure it manually, and we can divide the peripherals into two divisions, the input division and the output division. So we'll be mostly dealing with the input division ports. We don't need output division. If we touch them, I'll definitely disclaim a cause there, because it doesn't really require them. Okay, remember these mappings are really important, and let me give some basic instructions when you go ahead to the projects. So when you make a change in your circuit, even a minute change of moving a wire from a pin to pin on the breadboard, you need to be careful because you first have to shut down the Raspberry Pi, remove the power supply, and then make the changes in your circuit, because this microcontroller can be destroyed even when touching with your bare hands also. So be careful with that. Turn off the power supply every time you change a pin on your circuit or your breadboard. Okay, now let's get started with our imager installation and OS installation. So yeah, let's get started with the downloading of the imager first. So this is what we'll be using. There are actually three ways to download this imager. You can download for macOS, Windows, and Ubuntu. So all the instructions will be provided if you are doing with the another OS. I'll be teaching you how to do it for macOS and Windows. So if you want to do it on your terminal, then you can use sudo apt install RPI imager. So click on download for macOS and the imager will get downloaded, and it will look something like this after downloading completely. So this is the latest version I am using. And first you have to choose your Raspberry Pi device, so whether it is 5, 4 or 0. So we are using 5, and then choose the operating system. So we'll be using 64-bit, and it is bookworm edition, so this is the latest one. So we'll be using bookworm, and storage will be using 8 GB. I have taken it for an example, so you require at least a 16 GB of storage. So click on next, and then we should edit some settings. So we'll be connecting to the Raspberry Pi using LAN wireless LAN network. So you can't work this out on your iPhone hotspot. So if you are using an iPhone hotspot to uh, give the hotspot to your MacBook and your Raspberry Pi, you can do that, because we'll be using another application called Angry IP Scanner to get the IP address of the Raspberry Pi 5. So unfortunately, if we connect iPhone hotspot with the Raspberry Pi 5, we can get the IP address of it. So make sure to connect your PC and your Raspberry Pi 5 to a same Wi-Fi network. So that's very very important. So the first step is to go to services, and then you select use password authentication, and then go to general. So set the host name to Pi or something you may like, and set the username and set your custom password. So you have to click this checkbox before doing that, and you have to click this checkbox also. So this is configure wireless LAN. So this SSID is your Wi-Fi network name. So enter it correctly. So if you have some long name with spaces, special characters and all, remove that instantly. If you want some spaces, add underscores in between, or keep a simple name to detect it and to write it over here. So this password where you write under configure wireless LAN, so the password used to connect to your Wi-Fi network, that password should be written here. So you cannot choose your own password. So using that password, you should be able to connect to your Wi-Fi network. And remember, your laptop and your Raspberry Pi should be connected to the same network. So you can click on show password to review and check your password. So I guess set local settings will be checked automatically, and click on save. And if you open this again, it will be something like this messy up, and you if you open it again, just delete it and delete this also, re-enter those details for better options. And that's it. No need to click on options and do anything. Services, use password authentication. General settings, use your enter your username and your password, and click on these two check boxes, set username and password, configure wireless LAN, and enter the details. The password required to connect your Wi-Fi network should be written here, and that's the revision. Click on save. I'll be entering something. Yeah, save. Yeah, and click yes. so all existing data on that storage device will be erased. So be careful, and then click yes. So I'm closing it because I don't need it. You click on it and it will take some time to install the OS on your SD card. So yeah, and one more thing, make sure you have an SD card with you. You can't work it out with your external HDD or SSD. It requires a few more steps. So better you use an SD card and insert the SD card into the specified slot in the Pi. So it will be back of your Pi. Reverse the SD card and insert it there. So better you buy a Pi case, because you should not touch all those peripherals on the circuit, and those are really dangerous if you touch it, because your hand can pass some current, so it will be dangerous. And the next application we'll be using is uh, Angry IP Scanner. So download it. It is free for both the OS. And after downloading this, I'll provide all the links in the description. Open the Angry IP Scanner. Yeah, it will be something like this. So click on settings. Uh, Go to no, not this. Okay, fine. Yeah, uh, click on this one. The display columns. If you are on Mac, it will be somewhere over here. Click on this, and your Mac vendor will be initially here. So click on Mac vendor and click on this right arrow. Okay, so you can just customize the display columns over here. Click OK, and then click on IP range. Select IP range here from this dialog box, IP range, and click on IP. For Mac, you have to select the second one, which gives your Wi-Fi IP address. You have to click on this one. If you are on Windows, click on the first one, which shows you Intel wireless adapter for Wi-Fi. You have to click the first one, and then click on Start. So for me, I did not connect anything. So if you click on Start, it should at least show you 3 hosts alive, and it will show you some number of host scans. After doing that, you should just close it after completing the successful scan, and then click on ping. Click sort by ping. So the you will get the first 3 results, and from that result, you can choose your IP address of your Pi. It will be over here. Remember to write down your host name and password somewhere on the paper so that you don't forget, because we'll be using that to log in with the terminal. And after that, remember to note down your IP address of your Pi. I'll show it how it will be, how the user interface will be. So the host name will be the host name of your Pi, which you have entered previously. So yeah, this is it. I'll show how to connect to your Raspberry Pi, and I'll do along with you now. Yeah, now I've connected to my Wi-Fi, which is common to both Raspberry Pi and my Mac. So I would like to give you some more few steps. The power supply to the Raspberry Pi, which is very important. You should at least maintain it to 3 amps, and it should be at least greater than 25 volts charger. So remember to keep this both satisfied, because again it will when you boot up the Raspberry Pi and open the OS on a VNC viewer, it will give some warnings of low voltage and low current. So to avoid all those, just satisfy all those both conditions first. So the next thing, click on IP, and as I've said you, it will show you the Wi-Fi address IP that you have connected to. So click on this and click on Start. So it will take some time, max of 1 to 2 minutes. So yeah, we'll wait until the threads are completely scanned. The threads are terminating now. Yeah. So host alive are 4, host scanned are 254. So this is my IP range. So it could be for the Mac it will choose automatically, and for the Windows you just mention like based on your Wi-Fi IP address. Just for the fourth bit, just enter from 0 to 255, which is optimal for all those Windows users. So click on close and click on ping, sort by ping. So yeah, see, according to the host name that I have set, Pi. So yeah, and remember one more thing: the host name where you have set there, whether it is Pi or your name or any cute name. So the complete host name will be your name, your selected name, custom name dot local. That will be your complete host name. So yeah, that's one more point to keep note of. And then open your terminal or Windows PowerShell on Windows. I'll just zoom it. Yeah. Now you have to connect it via SSH, Secure Shell Host. So this is one of the concepts in Linux. So the format is SSH, a space, and your username at the rate. It can be your host name or your IP address. It's better to type IP address of the uh, Pi 192. Yeah, and click on enter. So yeah, click on S and enter your password. It doesn't show your password there, but you have to enter it and then click on enter. So yeah, it should give you something like this in green color or any other color that your OS gives you. So we'll test it whether it's working or not. Yeah, it is showing me all the folders. Let us test if we can go to some folder and view those documents. Yeah, done. It's working perfect. And we have to change some settings in here. So yeah, after connecting to the Raspberry Pi, to change those settings, um, we will enter sudo, enter this command, and it will display you something like this. Let me zoom that out. Yeah, uh, go to interface options, select VNC, and click on right arrow again, right arrow. Yeah, here click on select and enable the VNC here. Okay. Uh, Let me do that with you. Click on VNC, click on yes, click on OK, and then click on finish. And after this step, you just have to reboot your Pi. So yeah, I remembered this point just now. After your first boot on your Raspberry Pi, the yellow light will blink randomly. So that's normal. Don't care with that. After rebooting your Pi, go here again, sudo raspi config, and then go to display options. Here, if you find resolution option, click on it and select 1920 into 1080. So I don't get it, but if you get it, select that and go to advanced. No, not here. Go to system options. Yeah, go to system options and go to boot or auto login. So click on desktop auto login and then click OK by clicking right arrow, and then it will automatically ask you to reboot the Pi. So you do it, the Pi will reboot again, and then your device is all set to connect to the VNC server. I'll click on finish and keep this terminal open, it will be handy. Or now you have to download something called VNC viewer. So again, this application is both available for Mac and Windows. So download for the required OS here. So it is even showing for Raspberry Pi. You don't need that. Don't download for Raspberry Pi. You have to download for your OS which you are operating on right now, Windows or Mac. Don't select Raspberry Pi. And now after downloading it, click on VNC viewer. So you won't get anything like that. You have to first log into it, create your VNC account, and now I've told you the IP address is very important here. So go to your terminal again. Now yeah, type your IP address here. Type this IP address over here. So this one, type that there, and then click connect it. Yeah, click on continue, and now enter your username and password, and then click OK. So yeah, it will give you something like this. So after this, you are all set to do your first project on your Raspberry Pi. So this is the latest OS we'll be working on. So check it around and play something with it. Open your browser, open preferences, and you can customize your graphics, you can customize your display from here. Click on the settings, and picture quality, you can select whatever you want. Scaling also, whether it should fit to window or your wish. And you don't need all this general and expert options. So click on OK. So for the programming stuff, we'll be using Thorny IDE editor. So if you have any issues accessing this Thorny editor, please let me know in the comment section so I can help you out with that, and we can also connect in our Discord server. So yeah, that's it. So if you like this video, please do subscribe, and I've given you a lot of important tips and useful tips so that you can use your Raspberry Pi without your external desktop. So make sure to subscribe and like this video. Until then, signing off.